Hey guys, how's it going? I'm John and I'm a third year cadet at ADFA.
Well, hi, John. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No worries at all. Good to be here.
So, firstly, can you tell us why, after high school, you decided to join the Australian Defence Force Academy rather than going to a traditional university?
Yeah, so thinking back to, I guess, a few years ago when I made that decision, a big one for me was actually I really wanted to go into the job that I am in as. So I'm in as a marine engineer, and that sounded really good at the time. And I went through like the DFR process and I was really keen on that. And for me, just ADFA just made sense. It just was the best way to go about doing things for a few reasons. Like you get the military skills at ADFA, you get to focus on your study, focus on yourself, which you don't get as much, I guess, with other university experiences. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about the process that you underwent to join ADFA. Is it different from other universities, or what's the process like?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit different. So with any other university, ADFA is kind of the same in that you also have to apply for the UNSW side of things. So you still go through the portal online and go through that. Otherwise, there's the defence side of things, which is, I guess, the main side that you kind of focus on, which is just three main steps. So you'll book yourself in for a U session at your DFR. Then after that, you go to your assessment day. If that's all good, go do the OSB. And after that, you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, that's the main procedure.
Okay, awesome. So how did you prepare for it?
A big one for me was definitely making sure I got the grades in high school. So I think it was just from memory, I think it was about like an 86 score I needed to get. So I just making sure I'm doing the right subjects and just getting high enough marks in them was definitely a big thing for me. Other than that, I guess number two would be just staying on top of your physical fitness. So like my advice would be, and what I kind of did was just because I was able to pass the initial fitness assessment or the PFT, didn't mean I didn't stop trying to improve myself in the fitness side of things, because I think it's just really helpful, like even when you get in, just to be sort of that step above the minimum requirement really gets you a long way. And other than that, just like a few small things like asking my mum, how do I cook like an easy, healthy meal? How to use the iron, just that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because you sort of, you're not on your own, but once you join the academy that you're living in, aren't you? That's how it all happens.
Yeah, like you definitely don't need to learn all those skills straight away. And I was pretty horrendous, like even still, I'm a very questionable chef, let's just say that. But you pick it up along the way, but it's still useful. I'd recommend just learning a few life skills that maybe you don't have at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. And so what are you studying at ADFA now?
Yeah, mechanical engineering.
Cool, nice. And how's that going?
Yeah, can't complain. I'm in my third year now, so still got a little bit to go. After this year, I've got one more year left at the university. So been studying hard, but I really enjoy it.
Oh, good. So from this degree, what do you hope that you will end up doing once it's all finished?
Yeah, so the main thing for me, after I leave here, I'll go do my initial employment training for a few months to be an engineer. And that's down in Melbourne. And after that, I'll spend a couple of years as a trainee. So I'll be on a ship, filling out like a logbook, just going through learning the ropes, basically, as how to be like a junior engineer in the Navy, hopefully get my qualification, and then just, go from there.
So what does a typical day look like for you then at the moment?
Well, just normally, things are a bit different with COVID right now, but just like, I guess a normal day for me would be pretty much in the morning from 8 to 10, we'll do JMET, which is just military classes. And that can range from anything like learning about sleep, nutrition, like military admin processes, like communications, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then we'll go into classes from 10 till, I guess, lunchtime. Lunch, I'll either have like a brew and get some lunch in the cadets mess that we have over there. Or I'll just, right now I'm just packing lunches and having them in the common room with a few of the guys just in my building. And then after that, probably a bit more class. And then I'll have to do like some personal PT in the gym, or we've got scheduled PT as well twice a week.
Oh, how cool. Sounds awesome. So what do you enjoy most about the experience so far at ADFA?
Just generally speaking, I guess from day to day, for me, it's definitely the company, because it's just really good to be, I think, like everyone who's there, it's just a good crowd to be around. And having that positive sort of influence on your life and always having someone there to give you a hand if you need it, whether that's with academics, physical or otherwise, it's just really good to see. As for like specific experiences, I'd probably highlight that I think in my first year, I went on what was called like a single service training, which is just a bit of military experience that we do at ADFA. Went to Darwin, got to see how the patrol boats work up there and that sort of thing. Kind of got a little bit more familiar with the kind of job that I'd be doing once I left ADFA. As well as that, like I got to go see Litchfield, got to go see Cadet. Like for someone who's grown up in Melbourne, I thought that was just a really awesome experience to get to go like camping in those places. So yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's on my bucket list for sure. So can you explain what the military training side of things looks like for those who have never sort of seen something like that before? What's that sort of a day in military training like?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I've probably already touched on a few of those already, but I'll just touch on them again and then go through the rest of the stuff I haven't mentioned yet. So first thing was those military classes, and they happen pretty much every day in the morning. And pretty much topics that I mentioned already, so I won't talk any more about that. Second one is that most Wednesday nights we'll have what's called a VVIP brief, or just like a brief from like interesting or influential people that come to like the academy and speak to us as cadets. So like probably a perfect example is last week we had Dr. Carla come in and have a chat to us just about science. So that was pretty cool to have him come. But we always have like people who survived cancer and that sort of thing, like really inspirational people come and talk.
Awesome.
Other than that, like the PT that I sort of already mentioned, that happens generally twice a week for me as a third year. Other than that, we've got SSTs that kind of happen in the breaks, in the academic sort of breaks. And what they kind of look like is generally I'll go and either go to Sydney, go to Darwin, could go to Cairns or Perth, or like sort of other main Navy establishments and just get a bit of extra experience for me. So that's what that look like. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. So have any of your family been in the military or attended ADFA? Like, is there sort of any family ties here, or have you just sort of thought that this is what you're going to do for a career and followed your own path?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of there seems to be like a bit of I don't know if it's a misconception or what, that like everyone who goes to ADFA goes there because they've got like military parents or whatever. I'm actually the first one. No one in my family has ever been in the military before. So just me. Although my girlfriend is in the Navy, so I guess that also makes things a bit easier, but I'm the first one.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I guess that would definitely make things easier. So what support do you get from ADFA on both the military and academic side of things?
Yeah, so like the academic side, definitely you get a lot of support. So I think like the main things for me are the class sizes are really good at ADFA, like maybe even compared to other universities. And as well as that, the lecturers and your tutors and that sort of thing, like they're pretty invested and they always have like extra support classes running, or, I can shoot my lecturer an email, like he knows me by my first name and he'll get back to me pretty quick with any like dramas I have. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Otherwise with the military, so like ADFA's kind of split up into squadrons and divisions. So each division you've got generally about 2 staff looking after about 40 cadets. So you've always got like that support structure to go to and see if you've got any dramas.
So is ADFA like other unis? What sort of things can you do socially?
Yeah, I probably can't really comment on if it's exactly like other unis, but I can say ADFA is very social and like you're never going to run out of stuff to do. So what people usually tend to do, or what I've done myself, is firstly, there's heaps of sports clubs. So if you want to play sport, either like that competitive level, there's, rugby, soccer, AFL. I've played soccer for the last few years and that's been just, really good fun time. You get your team, go to training twice a week and get to play competitively on weekends. And side bonus, the defence will actually pay for your registration fees, so you don't have to worry about that.
How good.
Also, other than that, the main sort of clubs that we have here are called VEX, and they're just like extracurriculars. So if you're into like board riding, there's a board riders club, like motorbiking, four-wheel driving, fishing, that sort of thing. If you want to even go, we have a academy racing team. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, like building a race car and then racing it against the other universities, that's a pretty popular one as well. Other than that, we do sort of social events throughout the year. So we'll have like big events, like we have 1,000 days to go every year. That's just a sort of a large social event that sort of commemorates 1,000 days to go for the first year class coming through. As well as that, we have dining in nights and balls, that I sort of spotted throughout the years. The dining in nights are just a bit more of a formal experience, I guess, where you might bring even your family or your partner, or like your mum or your dad, or your partner or someone to come, and it's just a bit more of a formal sort of dinner where senior military officers will come in and that sort of thing. So yeah, that kind of caps it off.
It sounds like so much fun, honestly. It sounds like such a cool gig, that's for sure. So how busy is your week then? Like, do you have much downtime and sort of time off from everything?
Yeah, I think downtime is definitely a thing that you do get, but you got to be careful how you space your time out. So for me personally, I like to sort of work hard during the week, and then I get to reward myself by going away camping on weekends and that sort of thing. So like generally during the week, I'll go through that kind of day-to-day routine that I kind of highlighted with you earlier. And then after that, maybe I'll do a bit more study and that sort of thing, and just kind of tie things off that I might have gotten done during the day. But then the good thing is for me, like during the weekends, I've got that whole time off to pretty much go for an extra gym sesh. Like I said, go camping, go to the coast, that sort of thing. So yeah.
It's awesome. That sounds great. So what's it like living on campus with all your uni mates?
I think it's really good. I was actually, I think, pleasantly surprised by the size of like your living quarters and that sort of thing that you get when you're there. So I can't complain. Like honestly, you get everything that you need. A decently sized room, and you get like local communals to share between 4 people. So yeah, it's pretty good. And just having, I guess, people to socialise with all the time, or bug if you need anything, is always good. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So what advice would you give to someone who's considering studying at ADFA?
So for me, I think other than the ones that I highlighted about sort of fitness, general life skills, and of course like the uni side of things, if that's something that you're a bit worried about, I think it's important to sort of highlight to yourself early on, like why you want to get in, or like why this is the sort of thing that you've chosen that you want to do. It makes it then really easy to sort of go back and reflect on that. Maybe if there's a few obstacles or whatever that you got to jump through to kind of get there, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, this is why I sort of wanted to do this. Or even when you're in, like, you know, up at 10 o'clock in the library thinking, yeah, like, okay, it's a bit rough that I got to get this assignment done tonight, but hey, this is why I kind of wanted to do this. So just having that sort of reason is a big one for me. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I guess like what you said earlier about how you got to go to Darwin and actually see some of the projects you could be working on once you're finished, that would really help motivate you through that, going, okay, the end goal is that, and I've been able to experience that previously. So that would be really cool to be able to go and see some of the projects that you'll get to work on when you're finished.
I'll actually touch on that just a little bit more. So like, yeah, exactly what you mentioned. And even more so, I think for the Navy who decide to go through ADFA, you actually do a year beforehand where you get like six solid months of like Navy actual experience to go and do stuff. So yeah, like I went to New Caledonia on like part of a sea trip in my first year before I went to ADFA. So like, yeah, having that experience to reflect on and remind yourself of what you're going to be doing afterwards or what you kind of signed up for is really rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. So if students are listening and they'd like to find out more, where should they head?
Yeah, so this one's an easy one. Just Google DFR into Google, and if you want to type in DFR ADFA, it'll come up with the ADFA website, and that should give you plenty of information.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, John. It was really great to hear about your experience so far.
No worries. Thanks.